Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is time to talk about some products again. And again, these are products that I have been playing around with this week. And I have filmed a Get Ready With Me video, which will go live on Tuesday, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And so I have a bag full of goodies to talk about. Let's just dig in. My week started off with this product. This is the Revlon Perfumery Scented Nail Enamel. And the one I have here is Winter Mint. I love this. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how much I love this. First of all, hopefully you'll be able to tell. There you can kind of see. This is a pretty minty green color. It almost has some yellow undertones to the green. But it has teal blue glitter in it, and then it has very finely milled sparkly glitter that you can see kind of flashing in the light. I believe that they're silver, but there is a possibility that they're gold. It's kind of hard to tell. This is a beautiful polish. I used a base coat, and I just did one coat of this and used no top coat because as I started using this, I was so excited about the product that I decided I didn't want to use any top coats over it to contaminate the nail polish. And I also decided I wanted to see how well it stayed on. Now I did use a sticky base coat. It did last quite a few days before I really started to have any chipping, and I only did one layer, and you guys know I'm always a 2-layer polish girl. So I always like Revlon nail polishes. Revlon nail polishes and Avon nail polishes are my two top favorites of all of the nail polishes on the planet that I have tried. And what I love about this is the fragrance is amazing. Now, Revlon is not new to scented nail polishes. They have been doing scented nail polishes for a very, very long time. I have some other scented nail polishes from them. You guys have seen me talk about Beach before, and I have always liked them. This one blows them out of the water. Now, I don't know if the rest are as well fragranced as this one is, but this one is amazing. The mint, the peppermint smell of this is so good. Oh, so good. Okay, it is the perfect peppermint. It's not just peppermint. This is a candy cane in a bottle. It is that perfect Christmas candy cane peppermint fragrance, and it is good. Now, the first thing that I noticed, anytime I've used scented nail polishes before, they generally smell like nail polish first. You maybe get a hint of what the fragrance is going to be like when you're applying it while it's wet, but in general it smells mostly like nail polish and maybe a little bit of the fragrance. And then as it dries, you start to be able to smell the fragrance better. You still normally can smell nail polish, that nail polish scent too, but the fragrance is usually better than the nail polish smell, and so it does make you kind of want to smell it. This, I could smell the fragrance just even from the bottle. It has a very subtle amount of nail polish stink and a whole lot of fragrance. I could smell the fragrance from the bottle, I could smell it before it was dry on my nails, and I could smell it so, I don't want to say strongly because I don't want you to feel like you would be overpowered with it, but it was so good, you know, the whole first evening. Now what I will say is I do think the fragrance in this one wears off faster than the fragrance nail polishes that I have used in the past. But it is so much better from the beginning that I don't even care. Because I put the sticky base on underneath, I'm not sure how much of the nail polish fragrance that I was smelling was to blame on the sticky base, which is why I didn't use a top coat, because I didn't want to contaminate the fragrance any further. I love this. If you can find this color, the color is 040, go get it. And I really would like to get my hands on some more of the scents. They have an autumn one that I really want to try. I kind of debated between that one and this one. The colors, I think the colors for the most part, this was the color I was attracted to, which is why I selected it. To me it was the most unusual. They have a gorgeous kind of a dark but bright blue color. I can't tell you what the name is, but I really looked at that one a lot. The rest of the colors I think are pretty typical nail polish colors. They're not necessarily going to be colors that you're like, wow, I've never seen that color anywhere before. But these are good. Even if you see one of those that you like, but you know you have a color like it at home, I mean, give that color to somebody else and get this one, because I think you're going to like this one so much better. I love the polish, I love the way it wears, I love the color, I love the packaging, and I love the fragrance. These are a win for me. Now, just to go along with that, Avon also has a new dual-ended nail brush and dotting tool that I wanted to show you guys. And they've done one of these before that was two different sized dotting tools on either end. This one is a dotting tool on one end and a teeny tiny little stiff, pointed brush on the other, so you can really do some nice detail work. Really excited to use that. And then, because I started my week with nail polish, I just started pulling out products, kind of starting with primer and working my way up through a look. And so the primer that I used, which is actually part of my everyday makeup bag, this is the Avon Magic's Face Perfector. I don't actually really need a primer. My face isn't particularly oily. I don't generally use products that require kind of a primer to make them work really well. And so for me, I don't necessarily need one. I started using it so I could try it and, so I could speak on it and see how it works. And now I just use it every day as part of my routine. This is a product, though, that I have customers who literally cannot live without this. And there have been a few times where they, maybe was not in a specific catalog and they kind of freaked out over it not being there. It has been revamped. They've added some fragrance to it and some extra kind of nutrients to it since this packaging that I have here. But it's basically a squeeze tube, and it works like any other primer. Helps to fill in pores, helps to smooth out your foundation, helps to keep it from melting off your face, yada yada yada. I can tell you, my customers that are in love with this, I have a lot of them that are in love with it because of how it performs with foundations and whatnot. And I have some that don't even wear foundations or powders, but they love the way that this makes their skin look and feel. So they wear it even though they don't put anything over the top of it. So there you have it. Next, I have been putting on the Physicians Formula. This is the Mineral Wear Talc-Free Correcting Primer, and this is the green primer because I have been using it to cover up redness. Had a lot of redness and a lot of breakouts lately because of the holidays and the foods that I ate over the holidays. Just actually eating 3 meals a day, like on Christmas, and just the choices instead of eating dry baked potatoes all the time. And so this actually has come in handy. I don't feel like this is the best for the actual color correcting because it's very sheer and you do kind of lose the green color. But what I really like about it is it's very cooling on the skin. It has a cool feeling to it, and it has a moisturizing sensation to it that just adds a little something extra, especially on the areas where I'm really broken out and my skin is kind of irritated or sore, tender, itchy, any of those things. That cooling sensation and that added moisturization has just been really nice for me. So I've really enjoyed that. And it is a twist up, and it comes out of the brush. The brush is already attached. So that's how that works. For foundation, I have been using the Ideal Flawless Invisible Coverage Liquid Foundation. This is a foundation that has a broad spectrum SPF 15 sunscreen in it. The color I have been using is Natural Beige, and it looks like this. You have probably heard a lot of big gurus talk about this, Pixie Woo, Goss Makeup Artist, etc., etc., etc. And it is, for me it's a medium coverage, but a lot of people feel like this is a really good full coverage foundation. It does have a pump on it already, so you just pump and go. And it just gives you a really nice finish. And I find in the winter time, my skin is reacting to the cold, it's reacting to the food, it's just reacting to whatever. I tend to get more peely and flaky and itchy and inflamed and blistery and everything else. And this just does a really nice job of kind of covering that up without looking cakey or exaggerating the dry patches as much. I really love Revlon Photo Ready for the way that it looks on camera, but that one really clings to dry spots, and it's very obvious that you can see it in real life. And so this one has been a blessing because this one does not do that as badly, and so I have felt a little more human with my, you know, snake-like skin peeling away from food reactions. Then for concealer, I have been using the Sheer Cover. This is the Duo Concealer. I have it in light medium. This has a darker color concealer and a lighter color concealer. So I've been using the darker shade to cover up, you know, my sunspots and things, and then going in with that lighter shade and really getting into where that dark trough is right here, where that tends to have more shadow and, you know, exaggerates the dark circles even worse because it has that deep dip. And this one does kind of settle in a little bit or cling to my skin where it's a little bit drier. So I do have to be careful and make sure I don't go too heavy, make sure I really kind of pat it out nice and evenly. But it does a really nice job of brightening up in that area, so I really do like that. And it's been a pretty good match for my skin tone. It's maybe a little bit dark right now, but it blends in really well so you can't tell. And it does a really good job of covering up my sunspots as well, so I like that. Then, actually, as a bronzer, I've been using the Ideal Flawless Loose Powder in Medium Deep. And I know you're thinking, well, that doesn't look very dark. That's, you know, how are you using that as a bronzer? But I am not very, you know, tan or anything right now. And so you can see that it's giving me nice accentuation here in the dip in my face and really exaggerating where my cheekbones are, even though it is a very, you know, light color in perspective when you think about what a bronzer typically looks like. It's a loose powder and it's designed to be used, you know, kind of all over the face as a typical face powder, but I have really enjoyed actually using it to contour, and it's really a nice subtle contour. It's not too orange or you know, fake tan brown, which I don't really need right now because it's winter time and it has been a very natural finish on the face, so I've enjoyed that. And then to prime the eyes, I have been using the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer, and this is just the little one that comes with the little black box eyeshadow quad, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is the little primer that comes with it, and I've really enjoyed it so far. I need to try and use it with some cream shadows. I haven't really played around with this enough. I've just been using it with the powder shadows, but I've not had any issues with creasing, and I do think it has helped to make sheer shadows look a little more opaque. It gives them a nice base, even though the color is the same, you know, color as my skin, and it's just a little squeezed tip. So I've really enjoyed using that. For eyeshadow this week, I have been using one of the True Color eyeshadow quads, and the one I've been using is Purple Pop. And I've been using 2 shades from this. These do come with a little sponge tip applicator, and they are numbered. Now I'm showing it to you upside down so I don't blind you with the mirror. I have been using number 1 and 2, which on the back there is, you know, kind of a drawing and an explanation on how you can use the 4 shades to make a look, but of course you don't have to do that. The number 1 shade is actually intended to be the highlight color under the brow bone. I've been using this color all over the lid and up to the brow bone. And then the number 2 shade is intended to be the lid color if you use the diagram. I've actually been using that in the crease this week. Oh, and I've also been using the number 1 underneath the eye as well. And it's just been giving me kind of this nice, kind of iridescent. I don't want you to think it's shiny or sparkly or even really iridescent, but these 2 colors really have kind of a pretty pearly sort of finish that doesn't reflect in the light, but there's just something to it. There's a little depth or something to it that makes it a little prettier than some other shadows that you might be used to that are maybe similar shades. And to go along with that, at random, I pulled out the NYX Eyebrow Pencil in the color 922, which is baby pink. And I know you're thinking, well, that's, you know, that's not going to do a whole lot for your lashes, and it's not. It's this really pretty pale pink color, but it just adds a little extra iciness kind of around the edge. I've been doing it all along the top and bottom of the lash line, and it really just adds a little bit extra dimension around the eyes. And because it's nice and bright, I do find that it kind of brightens the eyes up a little bit and just adds a little bit more to this kind of cool, fresh, suitable for the frozen weather a lot of people are having, but still color that kind of feels cheery and not so blah in the gray days. So this was, I wasn't quite sure when I pulled this out, because I did pull it out at random, how I was going to use it, or how it was really going to work, or how well it would be seen with those other shadows, but it does leave a nice subtle added brightness to the eye, and I've really enjoyed it. Then for mascara, I have been using the Mega Effects Mascara in black. I have talked about these before, but if you're new to it, it looks like this. To use it, you sort of crack it like an egg. You want to hold the sides of it, because if you squeeze here, this is how you apply mascara to the brush. So if you grab it in your fist and give it a good squeeze, you're going to squeeze a bunch of mascara out. So that's not what you want to do. There's little grippers here on the side. You grip the side and you give it a couple rocks to kind of loosen it. It kind of snaps in there. So you loosen it that way and you pull it out. And it's sort of like a wide paintbrush, and it is adjustable. So it does bend 12 different directions, and that way you can adjust it to suit your needs. It's designed to be ergonomically correct, and it does add 40% more mascara to the lashes in one swipe than a traditional mascara wand. So you will need to kind of adjust your expectations when you start to use this, because you are going to get a lot more product straight out of the gate. And I find a lot of people have been shocked by that, and have probably been messier than they intended to be on the first go around, because they're so used to having to put it on and put it on and put it on and put it on and put it on, and 5 minutes later you're still trying to put on mascara to get it on there. You're not going to have to do that with this. For blush, I pulled out this Palladio Baked Blush, and it's in the color Blushin', which is number 1, blush number 1. And this is a pretty, it's really a pretty pink. It kind of sort of has peachy tones to it, but that's really because it has a lot of gold kind of mixed in with the pink. So in comparison to other blushes, when you hold it next to their other blushes, it looks a lot more pink, but when you look at it on its own, it can look a lot more peach. But it's just been, you know, the perfect blush for a really nice flush and a nice cool tone for this time of year. It has a little shine to it and some sparkle in the pan, but the sparkle doesn't show up on your face, and I find it just leaves a nice healthy finish. It makes you look a little bit brighter and your skin a little healthier and a little less dry. And then for the lips, I pulled out the Ultra Luxury Lip Liner by Avon, and this is in Rosebud. And this is just a matte pink. It's kind of a mauve-y pink, and it is pretty close to an exact match for my lip color, just maybe a shade or two darker. So it just lines the lips really nicely. And on top of it, to finish off that cool look that I've been going for this week, I have been using the Maybelline New York Superstay 14-Hour Lipstick, and they look like this. The color that I have here is Perpetual Peony, which is number 5. These smell amazing. They are pretty long lasting. They this one is kind of a matte finish on the lips, but it doesn't really settle into, you know, the dryness or the lines and wrinkles that you may have. So it's just been a nice kind of finish to this sort of icy, cool look that I've been going for this week. And that's it. So if you have any questions about any of the products or where you can pick them up, the Avon products, obviously you can order on my website if you would like to do that. If you don't already have a representative, it doesn't matter where you are in the States. If you order on my website, you can have it shipped directly to you, and there's a link for that down in the information bar below. Don't forget to check out my blog, because I've been doing more in-depth, you know, swatching and close-up photos of these products so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And then, like I said, on Tuesday there is going to be a Get Ready With Me video showing you how I have been putting on these products, so I can wrap the whole thing up for you and you can really see how the products perform, and you really kind of understand what I mean when I'm talking about them, and hopefully it just kind of finishes it off for you kind of in a nice little series to really make you feel informed about these products. Okay, so that's all I have for you this week, and I will see you next time. Bye.